Imagine it is a rainy spring afternoon in the year 2013. You just came home from school, ate lunch, did all your homework. A few weeks back at school, you talked with your friends about this cool game called Minecraft. They all had it already, so you begged your parents to let you buy the game too. They gave in, cause your grades were so good this year and you deserve a treat. You open your laptop, a hand-me-down from your dad, and boot up the game. A new update is downloading before you boot up the game to play on the server with your friends. New redstone blocks had been introduced to the game, and you couldn't wait to find out more about what they do. One of your friends had also told you about Herobrine and the Ether Dimension. Both are totally real. His uncle works at Mojang and knows it all. And with this, I welcome you to a bit of a different challenge for this game. You see, I first started playing Minecraft in 2012. Fell off of playing a bit until roughly 2019, and ever since I have these random bursts to play the game again at some points. And this challenge is one of my weirder brain farts of these very random bursts of energy. Can you beat Minecraft in only one chunk? If you don't play Minecraft, a chunk is a 16 by 16 blocks wide area, and I will restrain myself to always being in these 16 by 16 blocks, which you can also see on screen. The quadrant I'm currently in, that's a chunk, and that's where I'm going to be. Now, the plan is to get enough Eyes of Ender to set off to the end portal, the only time I'm allowed to leave the chunk. At the moment, I'm not sure how I'll proceed with the Nether and the Nether Fortress and all that stuff, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Okay, let's do this. First of all, my spawn was okay-ish. I spawned in a birch forest with a few bees around me, which made me very happy. And having some trees in my chunk, I knew I had a baseline to work with. At first, I beat down some trees with my fists and made an axe and a pickaxe and continued to cut down the other trees in my area. Here, I ran into the first problem. I had some grass in my chunk, but I did not get a single seed from it, so the first thing I needed was a good food source. Oh, I also made my first prisoner here! Hello, sheep! Your name is going to be Kevin. Along with a food source, I also needed a bed to keep phantoms at bay, and I also had an idea of how to defeat the Ender Dragon, so I needed to prepare already. Once the area was cleaned of grass, flowers and trees, I planted a few more saplings which had luckily dropped from the birch trees and started to dig underground. I found water, but sadly its source block was outside of my chunk and outside of my general area of reach, so I headed onwards with my journey. A few blocks deeper, I ran into the first mobs and promptly got my ass kicked. I came back with a full health bar and no regrets and killed them all. Upon killing 2 skeletons, they dropped some bones, which I could turn into bone meal, and that bone meal could be used to get seeds. Awesome! Before I did that, I went back outside and built a little house. But not on the ground, I built up, since the area was feeling kind of cramped already. And at this point, I had an idea. If I cannot reach the water can reach me. See, I went down underground to the point where I found the water earlier. I dug outside my chunk to make the water flow closer to me and put down some dirt blocks. And see? Ta-da! The dirt blocks stayed watered, and with enough torches around, the light level was high enough for crops to grow. This solved the problem of not having a reliable food source, and remember, I never left the chunk. I only played with the rules. From there on, it was a lot of mining and going underground more and more. I found gold, but did not have an iron pickaxe just yet, so I just let it be. My goal was to find diamonds, of course, so I could mine obsidian and have a diamond sword, and build a nether portal in the end. The next bits were mostly just mining and tending to my crops. I heard lava somewhere, but I couldn't locate it, so it sucks to be me, I guess. Must be a bit too far outside of my chunk. But I did get very lucky. Upon reaching a cave below 0, I had spiders. Spidey spiders. And to my amazing luck, in the next chunk was a spider spawner with a way to my own chunk, which I promptly blocked so the spiders couldn't get to me and started to farm them. But you might ask, Rex, why are you farming spiders? And that's an easy answer. For their string. 4 strings make a piece of wool, and 3 pieces of wool and 3 pieces of wood make a bed. So the bed problem was solved too. Goodbye, phantoms. It wasn't nice knowing you. I also now had a spawn point inside of my chunk, as for some reason, Earlier when I died for the first time, I respawned outside of my chunk on top of a tree, which was very weird and I have no answer for this, but I ran straight back inside to my beautiful house and my sheep friend Kevin. From there on it was more mining and being AFK in a 2x1 hole to make sure my crops would grow. During strip mining I found a ton of nothing. A bit of iron and gold, just enough for me to make a cauldron and place it on top of my house. You see, you can get a source block of water with this method, and by this time I had given up my hope to have any source blocks in my chunk. So I had to find it via other methods. I also made myself an iron chestplate and an iron sword. And lucky me, a cluster of diamonds was right by the edge of my chunk and I was close enough to grab them, giving me enough diamonds to make a pickaxe. But I wasn't doing anything with that just yet. I had an idea and a plan, and this plan needed some time to grow. And once again it was a lot of strip mining and waiting for something in particular to happen. I spent a lot of time of this challenge AFK, waiting for rain to happen so my cauldron could fill up slowly, and let me tell you, it was very slow. But truth to be told, I got very lucky. Earlier I told you that I had heard lava but couldn't find it, yeah? I was riding around by the lowest Y level in Bedrock area when I heard lava while preparing to strip mine again, in a similar spot as before, just a lot deeper down. So I started to dig around and finally found lava. It was outside of my chunk, but close enough that I could get 2 buckets full of it. And now it was time to wait for the rain to fill up the cauldron. In the meanwhile, I set up a tree farm and accidentally got 2 beehives on it, so I didn't cut down the trees but let them stay. And now have some cute bee bros around me just like in real life. I also managed to attract another sheep with my amazing weeds and locked it in a pen together with Kevin. I gave them wheat and they made a baby, which is nice, more meat and wool for what's up to come. And while it was raining and storming and the sun was shining, I was down under getting as many ores as I could, because I wanted to have at least iron armor and a diamond sword for what's about to come. I had also thought about making an enchantment table, but my chances of getting hold of a book were next to 0, so I forgot about that rather quickly. Truth to be told, after some more strip mining, I was growing bored and I started to let the game run in the background while I was doing other things. Studying for my next exam, Minecraft was running in the background. In a Discord call with my besties, Minecraft was running in the background. Working outside, getting sweaty and dirty while digging around in the mud and soil, Minecraft was booted up, making so many days pass by. I'm not sure how long I had to wait until the cauldron was full, but let me tell you, it felt like an eternity. But finally, I have the water. Next on was to build a nether portal, and I decided on what to do in the nether. I used a trick speedrunners developed to make a nether portal with only 1 bucket of water. Ta-da! The video guide I used can be found in the description of the video, by the way. And well, my nether spawn was absolute crap. There was no way to describe it in any other way, so I had to travel to get some blaze powder. So now, with the chunk I'm currently in, you cannot beat Minecraft inside of a single chunk. But this wouldn't stop me from completing this challenge, not at all! And by the way, if you know a world that has an ender portal at its spawn and another fortress in its starting point in the nether, let me know and I will redo this whole challenge. Before I headed out into the netherways, I decided to try to get hold of ender pearls, cause I haven't gotten a single one so far. So I laid out in my hiding spot waiting for endermen to appear as if I was eye contact sniping artists at an anime convention. And here we are, going to do a time skip, cause no way the next 2 hours will be entertaining in any sort of shape.
1 eternity later.
Okay, I finally have enough ender pearls to fill the portal in case no eyes are slotted in it. And now it is time to find the blazes in the nether. The last few hours were uneventful. I did some strip mining, found 10 diamonds and quite some iron scattered around my chunk and the borders of the others. Ignored the other ores, threw most of the stacks of stone and deep slate into lava, and then I just waited, headset on while we're studying in the side. Did you know that Minecraft music is just really relaxing? I love it. Anyway, back to the nether we go. To keep the rest rather short, I grabbed the blaze rods, made the ender pearls, made my way to the portal, and thanks to my amazing luck, the nearest one spawned in the middle of the fucking ocean, so that wasn't too much fun, but oh well, could be worse. I found a portal, made a few bets that I didn't use at all, and beat the ender dragon, and sadly proved no, you cannot beat Minecraft in a single chunk. As I said before, if you know a seed where I could potentially have a blaze spawner and a portal in the same chunk, let me know and I'll redo this whole operation. Also, if I do this a second time, I need to enchant my gear somehow. The fight with the Ender Dragon took nearly half an hour, cause she hardly ever came down and I was as weak as a coughing baby. In the meanwhile, I gotta say, it was nice to dive back into Minecraft, but I was not anticipating this challenge run to go on this long. Mainly waiting for water, for the cauldron to fill up, and sniping the Enderman took fucking hours and I was not ready for that. What turned out to be a nice little challenge to get back into the groove turned out to be probably one of the longest challenges runs I have done so far. It was alright, but quite slow. I would rate it at 5 out of 10 on the enjoyment scale. And I honestly cannot even tell you how long this challenge took altogether. I have a few hours of recorded footage, but I let the game run AFK for ways longer. I got no idea, so if your spawn is unlucky, you have to calculate at least a few more hours in that than you would have anticipated. But alright, that's it for today. My name is Rexy and this was my video on beating Minecraft in a single chunk. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next time, so bye bye!